his counselor had not given him much help other than just continue with your education and go to college. He said, I don't want to go to college, to me. And so anyway, I gave him a name of a person at Landover Mall at the time, when Landover Mall was there, to just give him one section of his landscaping on the mall, to let him do it one summer to see how it went. Then he'll be a reference if you do well. And you may have to discount your services to go in. But he contacted them, and they gave him a certain portion of the landscaping, and now that's big business now. But they gave him a certain area there.
Wow.
All right, we'll contract you for 9 months to do this landscaping work, and if you do it, we can do more. All of a sudden, I see his trucks all over the place, after that occurred. Here again, that was through a career day that the chamber was involved with. So I'm like you. I believe in what the chamber does. And one of the reasons we started Bowie Business Journal was to get the word out about the opportunity. But another thing that's happening right now, and maybe you can address this too, how about this investment thing now? Of all times, with all the turbulent bad news, and it is turbulent and sometimes inaccurate, and it's almost, I don't know how anyone can really do everything, so I have to reach out, and they should reach out to people like you. Where did you get your training? Yes.
Well, I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, but actually in psychology. I went from working with children to working with two most important things to people: their children, now their money. But I was really passionate about I always had the interest in it, and fortunately my firm, they have one of the top training programs, so I passed all my licenses to be fully licensed, and the training we went through. So and it's about, to gather the knowledge to do this job, obviously taking the time to study and passing all the tests, but it's about knowing people, and that's the number one thing that I knew. I knew that I would be able to get the knowledge, but that it's having people skills and getting to know your clients. The way I do business is not like if you're watching back in the 80s Wall Street. I'm not calling people on the phone and never seeing them face to face. It's about getting to know your customer, getting to know people's goals, their financial situations, what their goals are for retirement, and helping them meet those goals. It's about sitting down together and developing a plan or strategy. And during the times right now, it's the number one thing I could recommend to anybody. If you don't have a plan or strategy, no matter how old you are, you should get one. And if you have one but have been ignoring your statements and ignoring things and scared and terrified about what's going on in the news, and I certainly don't blame anybody, but you should review that plan or strategy with a professional. Again, no matter how old you are, if you're a conservative investor, if you're an aggressive, it's really important to have a plan, because people don't realize that they make decisions. Having a financial advisor, going to seek professional help with that really helps, because people, if they base all their decisions on emotions, and people are emotional about their money, which makes sense completely. So you seek a professional that can give you the facts and make sure you're allocated, diversified properly, and you're sticking to a plan, because I don't care who you are, no one can predict. So it's about having principles and not base your decisions on emotion and predictions. So that's to be the most important thing. There's a lot of things on the news that are very scary, but there's things that people should remember that our economy has grown 87% of the time since 1957 and around 90% of the time since 1982. We're still, the United States of America, and I, still believe in getting through this time.
I agree, and I'm sure that your clients believe what you're saying, because if they follow your guidance, it's easily recognizable what you say is true. And that's another important factor too, because there's so many, every now and then you hear stories about scams. I had a guy call me up one time and wanted to sell his business. Well, he had no business. He wanted to sell his ideas of getting business, But he had enough confidence in that to try to sell it. But then another guy, a friend of my accountant, had a person that came in with 1,000 stacks of music that he had developed. And he wanted to sell it. And he wants $1 million for it. I mean, it's that good, and he had it all copyrighted of the control maze stuff. But yet, the times are, he felt like it's bad for that kind of thing. But I understand that kind of transaction goes on sometime with even selling something not produced in that case. To me, it seemed awfully odd, but I asked my accountant, how in the world, what if all these things disappear or get burned or something? I should be in a vault. Mm-hmm. I told him the same thing, and that's why they're here. He thinks I'm going to be careful and secure them, rather than his pantry at home. So there's odd things about what people can do, but there's some entrepreneur and even investor entrepreneurship, I believe, that they like to see something that they invest in grow. Mm-hmm. And those that have control of the business, that's a satisfaction to them, like Cindy. The tough times, are there, but this entrepreneur thing, are you seeing many people that want to do a business, to start out a business now? More than you did when you first got into your area of work? Are you seeing that more or less, Cindy?
I am. I'm seeing it a lot because people are getting laid off. Mm-hmm. Even my own husband was laid off a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
He had worked for a company for 24 years. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are trying to start their own businesses, and one thing that I would recommend, of course, is to join the Bowie Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. And go to the mixers on a regular basis, and you get to know a lot of the members, and they get to know you. And people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. And your firm's in business for a long time. Mm-hmm. And right now, I recognize businesses that are doing television advertising like yours. They're doing that now. They're showing an old corner location in one of the ads, for instance. But this signifies long-time service, no doubt, an old building. And of course established, and then of course you putting all of your good experience and your methods of dealing with people at work is little you're in business for yourself. Mm-hmm. I think. Right.
Yeah. it's up to me. I have the advantage of having the backing of a firm and the analysts kind of at my fingertips, but it's up to me to treat people well. Mm-hmm. That's right. And go around, and it's funny. It's a funny story. One of the first people I met in the area that really introduced me, and I went to my first Chamber of Commerce event with, was Cindy. Mm-hmm. I went around and went knocking on people's doors to introduce myself in the Bowie community. And I say this because obviously a lot of people don't want to do things like that, but I have to really compliment just the people in this area, because 95% of the time I had people thanking me that it was so nice. It was very an old-fashioned way to go around and introduce myself in the community, and people welcomed me with open arms. And Cindy was one of them. And it took me into an area with the chamber and the people involved there that really, it's a very warm community. As big as PG County is and Bowie, there's still this wonderful sense of community and old-fashioned type of relationship with people. So I'm just throwing that out there because anyone could. I'm not encouraging. Obviously, if people don't want to open their doors and be bothered by people, that's totally their choice. But it was a simple introduction, and I met really wonderful people by doing that. I just want to kind of compliment Cindy and the people in the community.
Well, and when years ago I first introduced the chamber to a method of gaining new members. I'd gone to Waco, Texas, and they had 1,200 members in Waco, Texas, and that's not much bigger than Bowie as far as the population. 1,200 members in Waco, Texas, of the Chamber of Commerce. And how they gained those chamber people, I wanted to know how they did it.